Hey guys and gals. Alright, so the POAP machine had to be moved next door in Chateau, so it's right around the corner. I'm gonna put my guy in Loki over in the walkway. But we're having some issues with the one in the business center, so instead of risking that one, I'm just gonna use this one right around the corner. So. All right, now that we get the important matters out of the way, let's get started. If you have your mic on, please mute it. And then we can unmute when you have a question or have a comment or something. But welcome, everybody, to the DG Community Meetup with the Guild, the core team, the Artist Collective. So super excited to have the team on, and today we have Jetski and Rutger. Would you like to introduce yourselves? And is anyone else from the team with you?
Hi everyone, Jetski here. Yes, and we have Sinji as well, the guild leader here.
Awesome.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome. Great to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So I guess to start off, could you explain just a little background on the guild and just give everybody, just if they haven't caught some of the past talks. We've had quite a few artists now, and we can go into that. But just to kind of baseline and give everybody a nice overview.
Sure. So we're a group of artists scattered around the world, as is the case with this decentralized movement. We started sometime last year, so we're just coming up on we've actually just passed our first sort of birthday, so to speak. And yeah, thanks. It's awesome. what a crazy year it's been, thus far. So we're a very dynamic sort of multidisciplinary arts group with members all around the world. And this started during the course of obviously the pandemic and forcing everybody to try and connect in different ways online. So through the course of a bunch of initial collaborations, we started finding the synergy that started to come about. Because there's a lot of individuals that have in the space as a whole, but also within this group, that have a very positive outlook on where this technology should be guiding creatives and empowering creatives in the future. So we're trying our best to create that sort of ecosystem within the artists that we do work with, as well as in terms of the types of ways that we collaborate.
That's so cool. So how do you find artists to be part of the collective? Is it more recruitment, or do they usually come to you guys, or both?
It's a mix. We actually we have a mix of requests that often come in, but what we've chosen to do is try and grow organically in a way that is not like super scaling. Because the one thing that has happened through the course of all of this, through lockdowns and everything, is that people have become very isolated and disconnected. So the ability to have meaningful relationships has been sort of like broken apart in certain ways. And in this way, it's also now allowed strangers to come together to really explore what it is to meet someone and work with them in a way that is slightly different from what's happened before, but has because the remission is a trustless ecosystem. We try to emphasize more of the trust of the individual. So the aim is to sort of nurture relationships as we scale.
Yeah, I find it fascinating, that transition that a lot of us are experienced the past year or more now of getting used to these different types of interactions, and I think as people get used to them, they become much more comfortable and natural. But it does feed to these groups. People want to be part of something, so we kind of levitate to what's familiar. So I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you. I can speak to my personal experience coming from always being sort of either in skating or in b-boying or painting, like street painting. So like it's you're always faced with different constraints and different challenges, but most of the time the challenge is breaking through your own skin and your ability to express yourself in that way. So coming together like this has been extremely eye-opening, not only from a creative standpoint, but from a human understanding standpoint. It's incredible what like the emotions that have come through in different people's artwork, even though you've never met them, you kind of have in a way where it's like they're showing you what they feel, because everybody's going through varying degrees of the same situation. And that's exhibited. I mean, every day you just turn a page and something different is showcasing itself in weird and wonderful ways. So it shows that we're actually more connected than we think, that we're apart.
Yeah, it's amazing, Nate. Just the connections and relationships, and and even self-discovery. Because I've met a lot of folks, especially in art. They didn't really have time or drive or whatever the case is to explore that artistic side. And there's been some really amazing innovation and just artists coming just from that. So it's like a new age. So could you go into your background a little bit more? That was interesting. So you're
Sure.
skate, b-boy, and street art.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I found my comfort zones, but I'm also a trained 3D artist as well. So that's the only real thing that I studied in a third-party perspective. So going to an institution to study, that was like a 2 or 3 year diploma. But the rest of everything I've done has been self-taught and initiated. But speaking to those sort of, I would say, traditionally known as sort of left field sects of artistic movements. The one thing that's been quite similar, the moment, even jumping into the space in the beginning, the thread that I felt there, or the pulse that I felt there, was very much something that was like very punkish, very, very gritty, very necessary at the same time,
Yeah,
which had a lot in line with, excuse me, yeah?
No. So the whole like cypherpunk kind of idea, where it's just crypto.
And I grew up listening to Nine Inch Nails at the same time as Rage Against the Machine and some other stuff, without giving my age away
Yeah,
too
me
much.
too,
But like,
actually.
I would listen across the spectrum of musical tastes. So it's
Absolutely.
always kind of been you can approach one thing from hundreds, if not thousands, of different possibilities. So that's kind of the approach that I try to carry through.
Very cool. So, Jet Ski and Record, would you like to give a little background on your art and your, just history?
Yeah, sure. Well, basically, like I've been an artist out of personal interest since pretty much I've been drawing since I was very young. But I've always regarded more as a hobby, and I personally like to paint, like do traditional painting with acrylic and oil painting. So that's where my majority of my time when I was painting would be spent on. Um, but apart from being in the guild as part of the core team, I actually work in another company as well, in another blockchain company. So I'm not a full-time artist as some of my core mates here, in that regard. So personally, like it's being in the blockchain has been an interesting, and fun experience because like NFT is such a still a very young industry as being part of the blockchain itself. Um, that's where I came in as part of the guild. Basically, I bring my expertise in the helping the coordination coordinating and as well as I guess you would say the relationship and establishing the relationship and also the business part of it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, key parts, especially in all this crazy space. Very cool. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, what's up, man?
Yeah, I'm here. I just had to say goodbye to my lovely daughter and wife. They just came in and then they went back up again. Yeah, well, for my background, I've been to yeah, art college. It's called the Rietveld Academy. It's a well-known academy in Amsterdam. I did that like twice. The first time I was 20 years old, but I couldn't manage to concentrate on doing things that the teachers were telling me. So I went out a lot, did a lot of things mm, yeah, I did to have fun. So instead of going to college, I just dropped out in half a year and did a lot of other stuff. Then I sort of went into a period where I was working in daycare with people who were mentally disabled and who had autism as well, and I really loved working there. But in the meantime, still making my own art. I actually always make people and connect people in one image or build them up in layers. So it's always fragmented, and I think that's the way I perceive the world as well. Fragmented, but as a whole. Um, and then when I was 30, I was becoming a dad for the first time, and then I went back to the academy for 5 years and finished it because I felt I was lagging behind. I had to do it. For some reason, I was mad at the academy for the first years after I dropped out, and after that, I thought maybe it was just me, and I had to do it. Yeah, I had to do it again to prove myself I was able to. So, yeah, I've actually been making art since I was very small. Um, and in 2018, I was very interested in blockchain, and already people, I was, well, people were able to buy my paintings and drawings with Bitcoin. No one did in 2017 though, but they were able to. So it was more like some sort of novelty or something, or a gimmick for others. But for me, it was serious because I thought this is really something. This is going to change how we think, how we do things in life. So in 2018, I thought about well, making my own NFT platform, but it was a more dream. I was talking to people about doing something like that and finding people who could program it, but it didn't. How do you say that? Didn't come off the ground well.
Yeah, it didn't come together.
Uh, yeah, and then I found Super Rare in 2019, and I started minting there. And I thought, why would I need my own platform if I can do it here? So yeah, been minting for a few years on Super Rare now, and yeah, got a very nice group of artists and friends in the guild. So yeah, building new stuff and making new connections, and really looking forward for the things that we've planned for the coming year actually
Yes, you guys have
already.
I mean,
Yeah.
just what I've
Sorry, I
seen
was
so
just.
far.
Mhm.
No, that's great. That's a really cool journey. Um,
Yeah, not over yet.
no, it's just the beginning, right? Like, at least
Yeah.
it's nice that you know, back in the day you were the only one with the Bitcoin offerings and payment, and now it's like, all right, so weren't too far off,
Yeah.
right? We're on the right direction.
Definitely. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Shinji, when did you first kind of like decide to jump into crypto and the blockchain?
Let's see. I had heard about it some time ago, so I saw the great wave and crash of the 2017s,
Yeah.
which was a fun time for everyone. Although I'd never considered the idea of putting art on the blockchain until it was prior to June 2020. So it would have been, I think, around February, March when I first started to like see, hey, wait a minute. The moment we had actually faced our lockdown over here, I was like, okay, things are going to change drastically. Because I was doing a bit of design work for various clients in terms of whether it was branding or some web design work as well. But I was like, no, things are going to change dramatically. And just based on that assumption and the reality that followed, I guess, I needed to shapeshift some things because I knew things were going to dry up in certain departments with budgets. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see what isn't going to change. The only thing that I could really control was where I was going to put my time. And so with that, I went into a lot of research, and I got excited about this after seeing a talk on YouTube, which was like, at that point, it was like only like 20 people had viewed it, about NFTs and like the new thing with art and NFTs that's just under the radar. And I'm like, interesting. And so, yeah, I went down that rabbit hole. And now I'm here.
It's wild, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's exciting. I mean, especially 2021. I feel like a bunch more folks are starting to see the light. So
Yeah.
you guys are the
I mean,
pioneers.
as an artist and a creative, the fact that you have this visible layer to your work where you can see ownership over time, and obviously the thing that also attracted me initially was like you can actually have royalties that essentially, when it all gets leveled up, that could be perpetual. That is a huge thing as an artist. I mean, most of the time it's like, okay, your work goes out there, and then what?
Yeah,
Sometimes you don't
absolutely.
even.
Someone resells it for 10
Yeah.
times, you don't see any.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great use case. And actually coming from a 3D artist, prior to blockchain NFTs, I mean, did you find it a lot harder to create art as like a 3D model and sell it in that way versus 'cause I feel like most of that type of art was like for companies and things like that, where now there's an opportunity to create in that 3D environment and sell it as a piece in a marketplace.
Absolutely. A lot of the time it would be within the sort of the pipeline of working on either like an advert or some sort of activation or promotion or graphics. And it's sort of one part of it, but you've got a framework of a brief and you can push it so far, but it never really occurred to be like, wait a minute, that could be the standalone thing. Personally, like I've always loved 3D for the fact that you start out with this empty grid and then suddenly you extract your mind onto this the space,
Yeah.
and you can share it with someone else and they can take a completely different view of the same object. It's like, oh shit, this is this is extremely special. And now as we see like with the metaverse opening, maybe really changes the way people are getting to experience both art and like this layer on top of reality, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I have a friend who does 3D models for. I mean, he has a company and he designs furniture, and I'm like, you can actually take it the next step and do what you want and sell it in the metaverse. So it's kind of it's just wild. It's still a new concept.
It is. I think though, the moment you realize that everything is essentially aspects of a digital asset that can find its function in many applications, then I mean that's existed for a long time, but now just extending it into more, let's say, almost consumer controlled, in terms of how they wish to experience that specific asset or where they choose to place it. Like that really makes it extremely interesting, because you're going to start to see like this super melting pot of the ideas of collectors becoming creators as well.
Oh, absolutely. And that whole licensing versus ownership in gaming and just digital assets in general.
Absolutely.
Exciting times. Does anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Feel jump in. I know we could probably just keep going on. Don't be shy. It's a rare opportunity. Check the voice chat. Thanks. All right. Well, jump in if anybody has any questions or anything. But could you guys go into some of the projects you're working on now and what we can look forward to? Like from the guild.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Well, we are currently actually working with quite a number of projects, and we don't really share much of the details in advance, but I can definitely share some things here. So in the next, I would say within the next month or so, we have two actually projects that will be released. One will be in Wax blockchain, and I can tell you that it is very exciting and super massive collection of from the guild, and it is with a partnership with one of the bigger companies or NFT companies on the Wax site. I would say it is probably about 2 weeks out before it's released. I cannot share the date yet to be sure that we are compliant with the other site, but it is about 2 to 3 weeks from now. The other thing is a super rare project, and we are actually releasing our very first piece as from the guild, and it is going to be on super rare. It's a very fun theme, and it took us many months to complete this just one piece. And as a guild, we actually take a long time to just kind of create one piece, because in some cases we actually have more than 30 artists to do just one massive piece.
Yeah.
And
So
in other instances that it would be a smaller collapse. Like in the Wax case, for example, it would be roughly about 15 artists total involved in that one. And then we have other projects where like it's a much smaller collapse, but it's still collapse within the guild itself. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but the sports icons or the sports lions were also created by the guild in partnership with the sport icons, and those were sold out about 3 weeks ago or so, and that was basically the first avatar project that we did in the guild.
very cool. Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of Wax as well. So I need to find out more details on that drop.
Yeah, we all
Yeah,
have
you really
details.
do. Yeah. Yeah, if you're already like a real active user of the Wax platform, you might be interested in following what we're doing here.
Yes, yes. It was interesting because when Ethereum gas initially went crazy, and now it's just kind of everyday life. But when we went from like $1 to hundreds of whatever dollars, I jumped into Wax and I got interested with Cogs and some of the other collectibles, and I found Wizard X and Pepe Hero, and I'm quite an avid collector of Wax as well, and I recommend people check it out. There's a lot of really neat projects on there, and just the nature of being able to transfer stuff around is pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember using it the first time, and it was like almost an epiphany if you compare it to the Ether platform network. It's really so quick, and yeah,
It's kind of,
it's really
for me it has a completely different feel. It's interesting, and
Yeah.
the communities
Yeah.
are a little different. But again, like Garbage Pail Kids and Cogs like sucked me in, and then I started exploring. But definitely very cool.
Yeah, there
I
would be
remember
some.
buying it. Sorry, you go ahead first.
Oh, sorry. Go for it, Rudy.
Oh, well, yeah, I was just talking about the garbage pail kids that I used to collect when I was a kid. They used to come with a package of gum bought in the candy store. And then we would play with other kids on the schoolyard who would hit the wall and stay closest. And if you stayed closest to the wall with your card, you could have both cards.
Oh, so
Uh,
like early gambling.
yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, we did stuff
with
like that.
garbage pail kids.
Yeah, I actually stole my brother's set. He's a little older than I am, and he left him at my parents' house when he moved out, and I like took him as my own, like his whole set of Garbage Pail Kids. So when I saw it come out on
Yeah,
uh, the Wax blockchain, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like the so. Yeah, I
yeah,
think it's
nostalgia.
great that there's expansion across all the different chains. I'm always consider myself bi-channel.
By channel. So
That's my
yeah,
blockchain
that's
joke.
nice.
Yeah. Any blockchain with a use case
I
that
love.
brings value, I'm not against it. That's awesome. Hey, Liver Worldwide, how you doing? See, we have a couple of the past artists. Yeah, so if you guys weren't
Yeah,
aware,
she
we
went in
had
and dropped out.
yeah. Guess that scared people away. No, but yeah, we've had what 5 artists now, I think. Um, do special or no, we have our 5th coming up. That's what it is. So we've had 4, and then Silgi will be in October, so that's gonna be awesome. But yeah, those showcases have been just amazing. Like such different styles and just all equally breathtaking. So cool. Hey, Liver Worldwide, how you doing? You came back?
Hi. Yeah, sorry. I hit hang up instead of mic. How are you?
Oh, great. Yeah, that's how I live my life. Don't worry. I understand. I'm doing well. Good to see you.
Yes, I'm glad I'm here. How's everybody doing today?
Good. Just trying to keep up
Yeah, we're
with
fine.
marching.
Thanks. Yeah. I thought, Jetski, you were going to say something. Then I just rambled on about garbage pail kids.
No worries. Oh yeah. Now I was going to give a little spoiler again for the Wax project. It would be this would be one of the first few projects that will be that would have the ability to have the staking option for it. So the NFT will be stakeable, and yeah, just follow us in the guild, and we'll be revealing that more over the coming week or so. Um, it's a very it is a very large collection.
It's exciting. Yeah, it's neat just because you can do cards where it's kind of hard on Ethereum to do large sets of cards, and move them around. Well, Polygon now, so that's actually been fantastic with a couple collections. So we're catching up on that side.
Yeah.
So very cool.
And yeah, we are also working with, we are always constantly busy behind the scenes, even though we may not be, um, sharing much on the social media because we are always working. And art takes a long time to complete. And because we're a decentralized organization, it pretty much, we rely on each other time and a lot of the core team as well. We are actually just contributing a lot of hours on top of what we are already doing ourselves. So it's been a lot of a lot of sleepless nights and trying to get things moving in the right direction.
Do you have any questions or anything about upcoming projects? You guys are quiet today. It's a big group too.
Hi there. Okay, so did you announce the drop date of the wax project?
No, not yet. We,
Okay.
yeah, it's yeah. I shared that it's gonna be within the next 2 to 3 weeks. We haven't announced it to we haven't heard from the other side, so we want to stay compliant. But we can say that like it's within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, cool. I want to make sure.
I was hoping you were gonna just let it slip.
No, I'm very cautious with my words here.
Oh, I understand. It's like that.
It's a very cool project. I can say that much.
Yes, Alyssa or Overall White is part of the 15 artists in the Wax project.
Very cool. And how'd the async art bowl go?
So
Ongoing.
Yeah, it's ongoing.
it's
right?
ongoing, yeah.
Yeah, because last time we talked, I can't believe it's been weeks already.
Yeah, we have one fanatic collector called Basilis, and he collected many of the animals on the piece as separate layers. So I think he's the main layer owner now, but not owning the master layer.
Oh, nice. Yeah, async art. It's so fascinating. So cool.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, he can control many of the states of the piece. I wonder what he's after. If he wants to buy everything without owning the master, or he's just after just a few of the layers which he really likes.
Yeah, it's interesting because you can
interesting.
legitimately control someone else's painting
Yeah,
of what they're seeing. It's so fun.
Imagine. That's funny.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Like, yeah, I listened to a podcast with the founder, and just some of the stories pretty funny. Just how, like, even like in auctions and things, like as pieces get bought up, they start changing, and they have no idea. Like during the auction, it's just a cool concept. And if you're not familiar with the async art platform, it allows like one piece of art to be created by multiple artists, and there's multiple different types of layer or states. Each layer can have, I think, was it 3 different states or something? Traditionally.
yeah, that's the basic. Yeah.
And then whoever owns, and then separate wallets can own that each layer, and then there's one wallet that owns the entire piece. But if you control the layer, you can change what state it is at any time you want. So it kind of brings this whole new dynamic to the art.
Yeah, yeah, and also the way people can work together is also very different because on the backside you can add all the collaborative addresses of the people who participate in the work, and so when the piece gets sold, everyone gets his cut immediately, which is also very nice because it doesn't you don't have to do a lot of other manual transferring of ether from one wallet to all the others. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And one of the layers is also an async piece. I think there's only one that's like that. Like Vulcan? Is that how you say?
Sorry, what was your question?
I was saying it's so cool too that also one of the layers is also, oh no, it's the bonus, right? It's the bonus for the async piece is also one of the bonuses for the async piece is also an async piece.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, is that the gold bull? Is that
No, that's on charge particles.
Oh, yes, gotcha. Sorry, so many
Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah, that one is charged with the Bored Ape.
Oh, yes, that's so cool. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I'm gonna create
mythical
one of those-
story behind the bull.
Yeah, one of those stuffed NFTs at some point. I gotta do that.
Stuffed NFTs. Sounds like Christmas.
Yeah, or like a pizza, like stuffed crust.
Yeah, or turkey.
The calzone of NFTs.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
The special pizza.
you could tell it's almost mealtime. All my analogies will be food related. Yeah, that's really cool. definitely have your hands in a lot of different projects, and just the quality that comes out's crazy. Can you guys get into the the vetting process at all? I think that'd be interesting, just on, because I'm sure as you get more popular, bringing in new artists or recruiting new artists.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's a very slow process, right, Jesky?
Yeah. Um, Basically, like what Shinji said, we have a series. We always have artists approaching us, trying who wants to be a part of the guild, and we also have our standard recruitment process. So basically, there are a few things that we look at, and it's not just art alone. It is important to see our vision and mission. If you go to the guildnft.com, we have a read about the about part, about who we are and what we are, and essentially, as an organization, we aim to empower artists. Not only that, but we also want to be. We always aim to be have a part of our earning to give back to the community or charities, and we also value characters and personalities, and that play a factor into how everybody is admitted to the guild, because we are focused on positive movement, so that we have to stick true to our core values here, and that plays a big factor into how one is being admitted into the guild. And so when we feel that somebody is a good fit, we will send them an invite to fill out a form, and then the interview process begins from that point. And then if the core team agrees, and we will send an invitation to the set artist and they can begin their initiation process for a set minimum of time. If all goes well, within the X amount of time in the guild, they will be promoted into a full-time artist within the guild. And we pretty much will give them the opportunity to join any collabs that they are open at the set time. And then we can also offer them the opportunity to be a part of any commercial project that we feel would be a good fit for them.
Wow, that's really cool. That's quite stringent. So I mean, I guess it makes sense. You have such high quality products. Really interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I mean, especially in the space and being such a new kind of area, it's not always the case. So very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us.
No worries.
All right, guys, we got 20 minutes left. Any questions from the audience or insight? Anybody gonna try out Wax for the first time to check out this new drop?
It'll be my first experience. I have an account on Wax, but I haven't used it yet. So I'm looking forward to having that be my first collected piece or collection even.
Yeah, it's cool to kind of spread it out a little bit. And there's so much almost free stuff on there. It's ridiculous.
Gotta watch out for free stuff these days.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah, I just couldn't handle the Wax Telegram channels anymore. It was getting wily.
Alyssa, maybe you can share your experience on creating the Wax project one.
I mean, with very little detail.
Sure.
Well, let's see. How do I speak in code? So we were all assigned very unique parts of the project, and they were all interchangeable. So we all worked on different parts of the same, the same part. But we worked independently, but then we also worked collaboratively, which was really cool because we each had different areas. And then just on a lot of the other projects, some of us had the ability to, we had the ability to communicate with our neighbors and be like, okay, I see that, they're going in this direction. And for example, I created a background and then I saw somebody else's area and I was like, oh, well, maybe I should make a little bit of an adjustment. And then it flowed a lot better so that there was more of a cohesion in the final image. And I think I changed a few pieces around based on what I was seeing as people were sharing their work in progress. So that was fun. And it was intensive. All of my parts were in virtual reality. So it's always fun to create in VR to then become either a still or animation because, I'm creating something that has dimension that will ultimately just really, the end result is for a 2D output. And so I've got a lot of cylinders firing when I'm creating. I want it to look good in every dimension. So I'm always just trying to keep that in mind. And as a matter of fact, I'm working on a piece that is related to one of our other projects. And I'm going now I'm making a bonus, right? So I'm putting it into yet another dimension. It's really cool. I'm actually in VR right now. I'm not just talking and painting at the same time. Awesome. So it's really fun. It really gives me a lot of, I guess, variation to the already dimensional space I work in. I love the challenge. It really is a deep challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be challenging, creating in 3D and then kind of picturing how it would look in a 2D format. So do you make tweaks and then export it as a 2D, or how's that process work?
Well, interestingly, sometimes, let's say if I'm going for, I have a virtual camera and I have a virtual camera that shoots video and photos inside the VR. So sometimes, let's say if I'm working on something that is an animation and it's going to be a particular angle or something, I'll set up the camera almost like on a tripod, virtually inside the scene, inside my VR piece, and then I'll always refer to my tripod image. It's like that's my screen.
Your reference is right in world. That's so cool.
That's how I know the final is going to look. So I'm looking at the piece from all three dimensions, but I need to make sure that one perspective is the way I want it to look at the final. So that actually helps me. And it took me a while to discover that, to work backwards, basically to set up my shot first and then position my parts. So sometimes I actually create the scene and then I shoot it. And then sometimes I position my camera and then create, so that it fills the frame properly, or so that I know it's facing in the exact direction. Because, when you shoot a regular camera, you have a wide angle lens sometimes, right? So sometimes things are real fisheye. And in Tilt Brush, I don't have the ability to change the lens. It's a pretty wide angle lens. So some things get really distorted. If you have a wide angle lens, if you go up to somebody's face, their nose and eyes just kind of bug out and they look, right. They look like a whole different being, and that happens in VR too. And that could be quite a challenge, especially if I'm trying to do something close up. For example, I just can't get that close. So I have to make adjustments, but it's pretty cool because I'm working with a whole bunch of different mediums within the same medium. And a lot of that came into play in the last few collabs that I've been working on with the guild. So it's been cool. I'm always pushing it, and I'm also combining video inside of the VR as well as shooting video. So some I can import video and photos into the VR space, and so you'll see some dimensions of the video as well inside mixed in with the VR. It's like a collage. So I've been creating some video photo collages in VR too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
enjoy it.
wild.
So I always
It's like
play and push it.
the inception of VR. Like VR in VR. No, I love the camera idea. I mean, it makes sense, right? 'Cause it's a virtual world, so you should have everything in there.
Well, we have a lot, but it's still a very raw program. Like there's still a lot of things that could be improved. And Silkbrush is a program that they basically stopped updating it a while ago, and everybody's, all the users, we've all been screaming for different updates and help, to create things better. And then what they did is they just went open source, and then they let it go and made it free. So it's a cool thing because now there's all these different forks of Tiltbrush, and people are updating and creating newer versions that have different features, although all of them are sort of in an experimental state. So there isn't any one particular offshoot that's doing everything that I would want, for example. Like I could do some things in one program, but I can't do it in the other. So I'm picking now which forks I'm going to work in. It's funny, but yeah, everything's still like, I guess, in the beginning stages. So we're using the technology as it comes available. I'm always wanting it to do more than it can. And I think one day it'll just keep advancing, hopefully.
Sounds like you need to come up with your own
Also-
program.
Yeah.
Paint lovers
Not-
worldwide.
Yeah. My brain doesn't go that direction, unfortunately. I can create, but I have no idea how to make it work that way that I would, I'm not a developer, and the opposite. Absolute opposite. So,
Yeah, I do. I'm getting better at the program side, but definitely not there yet.
I think we as an artist will always be in the experimental side. It's some sort of world that just triggers you to get in and excavate what's new and try it out on your old skills and make new work. I think that's part of the journey of being an artist. So yeah, this new dimension of blockchain and VR and metaverses is really a mind-blowing opportunity for many artists.
Yeah, and it makes sense why artists are so open to trying these new tools.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, a
if
lot
you
of
think-
trial and error.
just,
Sorry, what
just
were you saying?
No, just if you think about it, just the NFT ability, like, what's your medium? It could be a paintbrush, it could be the computer, or it can be how you're using the technology, so just the fact that there's an NFT creates a whole other medium to use, right? Artists are using NFTs, within NFTs, that like how they're juxtaposing, they're nesting something inside of something. To me, that's very artistic and creative to see how people are using the technology, whether it's an actual brushstroke or composition of technology. I don't know if I'm saying what I mean, but that, if you get what I mean, like there's things that just weren't possible before, and I think that's so cool.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, you're almost if nesting, NFTs and NFTs can almost become like a sculpture. I mean, or tell a story, or there's so many different ways to use it.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
look at it like telling a story as well. Yeah, you bring in new ingredients into, like, there's the bookshelf, and then you put in new ingredients, and then there's a new story to tell. You can get out some of the pages and bring in new pages in the same NFT, and then there's a new story to tell. Yeah, and then you can even add some interest gaining coins beside the story in the same NFT.
That's very crypto.
Yeah.
Earn money while you're having fun. It's very,
Yeah.
very crypto of you.
Yeah, that's charged particles really helps for that.
Yeah, it's a cool technology. Definitely is. Surprised I actually haven't seen more of those types of platforms. There's so much going on though.
Yeah, on the wax collection, we actually gonna have something to do with charged particles as well. Some of the drops gonna be very rare ones gonna be on charged particles, but we'll have more details on that very soon. So some of the artists, I just thought to share this with you guys, but some of the artists in that collection involve Shelly Soneja. You know, I'm sure you guys know her also. She's one of the artists for the Degenerates. She's also in the collection. And then there's Ruger, Shinji as well, and then Alyssa. We have also Panther Sita, which is she's also a big, and she's recently in Super Rare as well. Then we have King Depths, Marcotic, Erko, Mr. Monk, who is also very much well known among the NFT artists from Mexico. And then there is Celia Torn, who was recently pretty much in your panel here. And then we have Iche, Mehak, and also Greek Freak and Stack Wolf, who actually are well-established artists, and they actually have their own collection on the Cardano. So we have a lot of very exciting artists in this collection.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. You definitely got me hooked. I'm like, what is this? I'm excited. Very cool. Well, we have 6 minutes left. Is there anything that the guild wanted to cover or share or talk about before we close shop?
It's hard not to tell any details.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. It's kind of a setup. Maybe you'll slip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
seen it coming.
I'm a bit blank there. Yeah, there's not too much to reveal that can be revealed within that, except to say that if you follow our Twitter over the next 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to see some activity that will reveal all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And feel free to, we can drop the Twitter in the voice channel text too. Voice text channel, whatever field that is. So people can easily find it and start following you guys. Yeah, Shinji, thank you
Is there
for joining
already
us
a-
today too. It's really good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. And the guild as a whole. I try to make it as much as possible. I've been a bit ill this week, so I've been kind of just taking some rest. But fortunately, my voice has come back to me this week.
Oh man, well,
So yeah,
wish you a quick
yeah.
recovery. That's never fun. Oof.
yeah. But yeah, thank you so much. Like I've popped in for a couple of the artist series meetups, and it's the community you have is generally quite engaged. I don't know why this is right today. I have an opportunity to ask crazy questions. So like, yeah, it is what it is. Maybe I should ask a question to the community. Like, where do they see like this next intersection of the tech taking us in 2022?
Anybody? That's open to the community. Well, I'm excited to see the interaction, the intersection of the art and gaming more. So it's been really amazing too, in my opinion.
Do you think we'll actually get to the point where like wallet swaps will be basically like shaking each other's hands virtually? Like,
That's really where we need to get is the onboarding, adoption, learning curve needs to be much lower. But yeah, I would hope that you can, come up with some way to sign your wallet, whether it's biometrics or, just it becomes easier than what we're using now. I mean, the tech's there.
Yeah, I think we're on the cusp.
In a room of pioneers. That's what we are. It is exciting. All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and gals. And I look forward. We have the guild artist Silji Thorne, which we mentioned earlier. She has her show. I believe it's the first week of October. So I'll put out some more details about that. Definitely come check it out. She's got some really cool stuff. It's gonna be a fun showcase. We'll do another AMA, so we can all regroup here. All right, if nobody has anything else, we can close it up for the day. And don't forget to get your POAP. It's right around the corner in Chateau.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I got a question. I'm a gaming YouTuber, so I work for Electronic Arts at the moment. And I'm wondering, do you guys think blockchain will change the way the centralized gaming industry will they implement blockchain? Will they jump on it as well, on the bandwagon? What do you think?
I think that's a possibility. If we just look at, say, what Sony's done with the PS5 and the ability to ban players really quickly, anything that has some degree of the ability to sort of authenticate who you are or have this legacy translation of rewards and achievements over time. I mean, we've already started to see that happen with, say, like the cross-play compatibility between the systems. I think the next layer would be that, but I don't know if it would be Ethereum at this point because of the scaling issues and the costs. But I reckon that's definitely something that's in their back pocket.
So you think that could be the end game, right? Eventually.
Yeah, I have a feeling
I mean-
we're gonna see, that whole licensing to ownership model change across all of gaming. Just the value of being able to own your skins and everything. What do you guys think?
'Cause I think it's a very interesting discussion, right? Since we see how big all of these gaming companies got now, like Ubisoft, Activision Blizzard, you have EA, you got Rockstar Games, and it seems like everything is heading to a peak where the games that are coming out now are free to play, but or they are battle royale. Less and less story games are getting released. It seems like the entry is getting lower and lower. And indeed, Sony can ban players, and skins that you purchase on your account are really not yours.
Right.
It's just a weird conversation at this point. Like those companies are getting bigger and bigger. It's like a huge monopoly in the gaming industry, which has been going on for years, but right now is like it feels like it's at its peak or something like that. And now with blockchain coming up like the way it's doing since like 2000 and 2019, like I haven't been looking too much into crypto games. I know a couple of them. I know Axie Infinity, Illivium, which is like the first triple A game they claim.
How's the experience with with the UI and the UX and everything?
Like Illivium hasn't been released yet. The marketing hasn't been finished yet as well.
Okay.
So it's kind of it's kind of weird to see, for me to see as like OG gamer. Like I've been playing since the PlayStation 1 and like back in the day on the PC, and now seeing it convert into some like more NFT based crypto gaming experience is just making me wonder like if those big companies are going to jump into it as well, like because they can't really regulate it the way they want to, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, if I were a betting man, I would say they will be jumping in. I mean, they're going to have to.
Sooner or later, maybe.
Yeah. Right, I think it's more a matter of time. You know, whoever gets that play to earn piece, like from a Fortnite type of experience first, is going to do well.
That's gonna blow up so damn quickly. It has to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people are already spending thousands of dollars on skins that they don't even own in Fortnite, and things like that, risking getting banned, paying for them. It's crazy. But yeah, we should actually have a whole community meetup around gaming. Maybe we'll do that soon. And I'll reach out. You should definitely join us.
I will. Like I'm super interested in crypto for a long time, and now recently, like more recently, I've been looking into NFTs too, and the meaning of them and seeing how they relate to gaming for me personally is very interesting since I know so much about gaming. Like I've been working with Ubisoft last year and Activision. This year I'm working with EA on the new Battlefield game.
Nice.
So I know the ins and out of the space, of the original gaming space, I should say. But a lot of people are saying that crypto gaming is the future of gaming. So, I want to see where this is heading.
Yeah, it's exciting. There's a ton of potential. It'd be interesting to see, who picks it up first. When it comes to those main, like, is it Epic? Is it Rockstar? Who knows?
Yeah, and being so close to it, you don't just see it happening. You can also be part of it.
Yes. Yeah, and I always forget that.
Yeah.
I'm always in these communities
Exactly
that
that.
there's really not that many of us yet.
No, you can literally start building it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look at
Yeah.
how big like NFT is, and then compare it to how big DAO experiences are, like projects are. Like the crypto games are not really that big yet, except of Axie Infinity, right?
Yeah, it's. I think it's going to be that gamer experience. As soon as they're getting the same engagement, interaction, that you're getting with these top tier games, but on the blockchain, then with the additive of actually owning your AK-47 or with all your perks on it, and being able to, if a new skin comes out, instead of buying points, you can sell your rifle and buy whatever. So I just think once those use cases and the tech catches up, it's going to be amazing. But
Yeah, I wonder what the first one will be on PlayStation or on Xbox.
man, blockchain console games, what?
Yeah,
It's going to be
that'll be great.
so cool. Oh man, I know we are past our hour, but you guys are welcome to hang out. I'll probably stay on for a little bit longer. But just real quick, thank you all for joining us today. This is a really good session. It's been a lot of fun talking to you artists, and look forward to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Thanks for
absolutely.
having
having
us,
us, man.
Murph.
Anytime.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I love it. So, and it looks like our community seems to enjoy it. So, we'll keep doing them.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I
Great,
think
thanks,
we
community.
do need to have a gaming one though. It sounds like everybody's got an interest in at least chatting about it.